Hello, hello, hello everybody. It's Christine. It's time for Scrapbook process video. And today is kind of a twofer. So the main thing, or the main, I shouldn't say main hop, but the one hop I'm doing is the Stamp It Like It's Hot. And our prompt this month is to stamp with like stitching, I guess. And I do have this little set here. It's from hot off the press. I had this in my drawer, you guys. And I've used these ones and I don't know what I've done with them. They might have fallen in my bucket over there. Which, okay, no worries. I'm going to use something different. One of these other ones I haven't used yet, right? It's from 2007, though. Look at that, you guys. Can you see that? 2007. Anyways, I'm going to use one of these stitches here. And the other thing I want to do is a sunburst. So, because I have all these papers here, because this is my counterfeit kit. This is my counterfeit kit challenge blog kit. And I'm kind of imagining... I may frame this. I love that wood grain. I have to get that. And then I think I might do a sunburst with like these other papers. Maybe not this one. I may pull this one out. Maybe these ones. I think I got to see. I think that's what I might do. Because what I'm going to do, this is a picture of an empty chair here in my craft room. And there's two people that usually sit in this chair. And neither one of them are here. Now, neither one of them passed away, so it's not that sad. But one of them lives hours away. That's my daughter. And when she does come up, sometimes you'll see when I'll say something like, oh, my daughter's to the left of me, she'll sit right kind of in this area and do little crafty things with me. And then the other one is my sister, and we're basically estranged. I'm not going to get off on that, obviously, because just, for privacy reasons, but I love her, and she would come and sit here and also do like planner stuff and all that. Well, neither one of them are here, so it makes me a little sad. So this layout is about, I've got this paper here. Now, granted, this is more like the person's passed away, so it's kind of a little bit kind of not exactly, but definitely still kind of a, missing them type deal. And then, I don't know if I'll use this paper either. Let me see. I'm kind of imagining a starburst, possibly with these papers coming out, and then this is like rain, obviously, so I'm kind of imagining the starburst coming out from here, and then the photo will be kind of down here. So it's kind of like, a little sad, it's a little sad they're not here, and I'd love to have them here. So anyway, that's my thinking. I did find a tutorial video. If I can remember to do the link, I'll put it down below. I think it was Allie Edwards, actually, and she did a sunburst tutorial video. So if I can remember to put that link down there, you guys, that just depends on the day of the week. But I definitely want to try and make sure I give her credit. I watched her video and I was like, okay. I can figure a sunburst out in some kind of way, but she was pretty clear about it. And I thought, okay, that was helpful. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. Plus, I'll get to use up several pieces. I'm kind of thinking I'll get into that and use some of this up here. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me do a little bit. I got to mount that on probably on white cardstock too, you guys. So let me trim this down, fit it into here. And then I got to do my little sunburst. I do have to make a little template. So I got this piece of white cardstock here to use for my template, and I'll be back on in just a minute. All right, okay, quick check-in, you guys, only because I've created the little template now for the sunburst. So again, there's a tutorial on it, but basically I've cut out a 9x9 square. I drew a dot here, and then I've drawn a dot at every 3 inches, and then I've just kind of cut from there. So now what I'm going to do is take and put these on top of my papers and figure out what order I wanted to go in. And let's see. So if I do 4 colors, I should have 3 of each color because I have 12 segments. So yeah. And I think what I'm gonna do is make sure I use like this one so that it goes up along the paper here, so I can kind of get that forever remembered kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. All right. I'm gonna get started. Okay, you guys, so I took my template and I traced it over. Well, again, I'll drop the link below with the tutorial, but basically with your template, you then lay it on your papers, you trace around it, you cut it out. And so I've done that, and you can kind of see up there, I've got all the little papers I've cut still matched with their little template piece, because you guys, those template pieces are numbered, and they're going to help me figure out where they lay on the paper. Now, I'm going to be real. They don't fit together exactly perfectly. And I don't know. I'm sure I cut them too big or something here, there, and everywhere, whatever. But on the other hand, I end up I'll ink the edges which you just saw me inking the edge, the last little bit of me inking the edge of the main piece of paper. Y'all, that went down a little bit crooked, and I thought I might shift it. Nope, that was stuck. That's not moving. So I have inked the edges of all the little template pieces. I've inked the edges of my main paper, because I had a feeling, you know, these little sunburst pieces, they can be tricky to fit back together perfectly. So I don't know. And then honestly, I start gluing it down, and I start in the bottom right corner, and it seems straight, but I get off a little bit, and so the whole thing just ends up shifting and all that. All that being said, I really like the effect of it, though, because, again, this is a bit of a kind of a sad layout, or a little bit of a difficult topic in a way. And so the fact that it's a little bit wonky kind of actually, I think, plays into the theme a bit. So again, I'm kind of going along here, just finding my spot for all the little pieces here. And I'll in a second, I'll start taking my Nuvo glue and start gluing them down. And I start in that bottom right corner. And again, I think where I went off a little bit is I wasn't paying real close attention, or I kind of was, but kind of wasn't, because it's a square. And then I wasn't really paying a lot of attention where my edges, if they were straight, like completely straight. So, like I said, it ends up a little bit wonky and kind of shifted, like rotated a tad toward the left. And then what happened is when I was rotated to the left a little bit, my bottom pieces on the left side were going to be too low. So I ended up having to shift them and stuff. So anyways, that's kind of what happened to me. And I don't show you all that because it takes a little bit, and I'm just gluing the pieces down, but I'll just kind of tell you that's what happened. So now I've got them glued down, and you can kind of see I've inked the edges. And I also took my fingernail and kind of roughed up the edges a little bit of the sunburst pieces. I think I said starburst in the intro, and it's technically, I think, called a sunburst. But now I've got my stamp out, you guys. I got my little stitching stamp. Now, thankfully, I did like triple map my photo. I wanted to use up some of these papers. So I actually had 2 more papers I thought to use, but I thought, okay, Christine, you don't need to like quintuple mat the photo. That'd be a little silly. So, but it does have quite a few little paper layers there. So the nice thing is I have the stitching here. I actually kind of booger up this one here I'm fixing to do. It's a real long piece, and I knew the stamp wasn't quite long enough, and I thought, okay, I'll just come and do it 2 times. And then I don't match up the seams, y'all. It was tricky because the stamps are a little hard to see. You can see I got a big old gap there, but that's okay. I'm going to put an embellishment right there, and it's not a big deal. And so I'm just using my little clear block over here. I've got, actually, the color is, what is that color? It's a Distress Oxide. It's chipped sapphire, because I thought that was a kind of a nice kind of navy color that went with the collections here. So I've used that on there. And then, yeah, I'm going to just keep going along. Now, I do use a little paper towel. So on those little short pieces, I don't want the stitching to go up on the pieces I've already stamped. I actually did it by accident on the long one. But I don't want it to do that on these other small ones. And I go, oh, shoot, I got to put something. So I take a piece of paper towel, and I'll kind of cover up. See there, that's where I realized, oh, I don't want to do that. So I'll cover up that little piece there so it doesn't stamp onto the other piece of paper. I actually like how this looks, though. I think this looks kind of neat. And it does kind of match my little prompt for Stamp It Like It's Hot, right? It was funny because in the group somebody said, we're stamping stitches, right? We're not actually stitching. And it was like, yeah, we got to stamp the stitch, because otherwise, if you're stitching, I would not have played, because I don't have anything. Y'all know me. I don't have any. I got string. You know, I have like thread, or we call it the stuff you can kind of put through tags and all that. I guess it's fibers or string or whatever. But I don't think I own a needle, you guys. Like, I think about it. I might have one in a junk drawer, or, you know, one of those little Christmas gift things you get sometimes. It's like a little sewing kit that goes, it's like an emergency sewing kit. But I really don't think I have anything. I don't have a needle one, which actually isn't too good, right? If you lose a button or something. But, oh well, I always take it to my mama. She fixes everything. Because she used to sew growing up. She sewed a lot of our clothes, and she sewed, you know, dresses, and my sister and I had a little matching. There was always a different color. Hers would be yellow, and mine would be pink, like little outfits and whatnot. And then after my daughter got born, if we needed a Halloween costume or something, I said, Mama, or a dress or anything, and she sewed everything. I think that's a lost art, sewing, perhaps. I don't know. My daughter doesn't know how to sew. I did take home ec and tried to learn how to sew, and that was a disaster, y'all. So yeah, I don't know how to sew. So I've got that little piece of that little embellishment right there. It's his favorite memory. And that hides that little mess up in my seam of my stamp real good. And then I'm going to pull off my wood grain title here. I'm going to spell out miss you. And I'll actually come back, toward the end and add I. So it'll say I miss you. The only tricky part is in the photo, there's two lighter colored wood grain letters, the S and the Y. And in the camera, you can't, it's really a little more difficult to see. In person, it's fine. I think it has something to do with the light reflecting off of it for the camera, but in person, you can totally see it. And y'all, I feel like I'm losing my voice. It's kind of disappearing on me, so I hope I make it all the way through this video. That doesn't happen very often. It's early in the morning, and I guess it's cold here, y'all. It's real cold. I think it's like 9 degrees, and in Texas, that is like unheard of. So, yeah, we're real cold. Okay, so I got my flowers and things pulled out here. I'm going to use these big old flowers. And what have I got going on, y'all? This stupid little editing thing is so hard to see. I'm going to end up putting foam under, like, the edge of the leaves. And I'm going to use Nuvo glue. No, lies, y'all. I use ATG on these bottom right ones. It's the upper ones I'll use some Nuvo glue because once I get them figured out where I want them, I don't want them to move. So I do use some little foam squares up underneath the leaves, and I'll use my ATG just to hold it down that lower right corner. The color palette for our counterfeit kit was kind of this orange and blue, and I feel like I got it. I feel like I got it pretty good. I will come in a second after I get these pieces glued down, and I'll get over into my orange and blue boxes of embellishments. And again, in my counterfeit kit reveal, I showed those 2 boxes. I kind of opened them and thumbed through them, but there's a few little pieces in there that I liked. Well, I'll say a few. There's 2. There's one that says forever and always. And then one I put in the upper right. It's like a best friend or something like that. And it's the one I put in the bottom is orange. And then the one in the upper right is a navy blue. Here I'm just kind of fassing around with these letters because I'm going to reorganize them. They're a little bit, wonky because the whole thing's a little bit wonky. Here's where I have my little piece. It says forever and always. It was like, it was glossy. I don't know where I don't even ask me. Most of those little pieces in those 2 boxes, I couldn't tell you where they come from. Actually, this piece right here, I think was a My Mind's Eye. It's actually a sticker. And I'm going to stick that up underneath there. And then I'm going to decide, I wanted to use some jewels because I've told myself I'm trying to use up my jewels and enamel dots and stuff. But y'all, I went all through them and I really couldn't find any that struck me. So after I glue these letters down, I'm actually going to go get some Nuvo drops. And I get some that are kind of in a cream colored. They're the glossy ones. So, which is kind of silly because I know I had enamel dots in a cream. But for whatever reason, when I was going through my box, I didn't like any of those. I didn't want to use those. So, yeah, I've got my letters glued down. I don't know what I'm doing right now, you guys. Oh, no, I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I'm going to get my Nuvo drops. There they are. I ran over got my Nuvo drops. So I'm just going to kind of squirt these. I'm trying to figure out where that one's going to go. I do in the bottom right, and then I do in the upper left, and then kind of over underneath those little flowers right there. And then that is all I'm going to do this layout, you guys. I think it turned out kind of pretty, honestly. It's a little bit interesting, a little bit wonky. I think it kind of matches the theme real good. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out the playlist. We'll have like a playlist down below for the Stamp It Like It's Hot. And also check out my Counterfeit Kit blog and the challenges and stuff there. This is just a process video, not attached to a challenge. But anyway, that's a good blog. We'll see you soon. Bye.